Hey guys, Alicia here. I am going to show you how exactly that you can prep a card for printing that is going to be easy for your Etsy customers when they go to do the instant download. And you can put a little bit more instruction in there on how exactly to do it. So before we do that, we need to create the front of the card, the middle of the card, and if you want a back of a card, we can do that as well. So the first thing we're going to do here is we are going to click on New, and we're going to click a 5x7 because we are creating a 5x7 card. Now, if you want this to be vertical or if you want this to be horizontal, that's up to you. So this is our 5x7. Now, before I jump into this video, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also the bell notification so you do not miss out on any future videos on how to make a passive income online. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Let me bump this up just one more here. You can kind of do that. Now, I have already uploaded some graphics, and if you have watched my previous videos on graphics, there are plenty of places you can get graphics on Etsy directly, which is where I recommend because they seem to be the cheapest. You can also get them on Creative Market, the Hungry JPEG. There are lots of places. And you also want to make sure it has a commercial license. So I am going to make the front of this card. And I'm going to do this simple because the main purpose of this video is to show you how to get a card onto a 8.5 by 11 where they can print it out. So if you're watching this video in June, please understand and know that this applies to any 5x7 card, whether it be a birthday party invitation, a wedding invitation, whatever it is you want to do when it is a folded card. So I'm going to go ahead and put, this is the famous truck here that is the famous old truck with the Christmas tree in the back. And so now we're just going to add some simple text up here at the top, and we're going to just put Merry Everything. And I'm going to center this, and I'm going to pick out my font. Okay, so I have now picked out my font, and now I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, and it just says Merry Everything. Now, you can either do one of two things. You can change the color of this right here on the spectrum if you want to by just kind of going to your greens and selecting a shade of green that you like. And I kind of do like that. Or if you really want to get creative, I have uploaded this green watercolor blob. Now, what we want to do here is we're going to completely cover this. And then what you're going to do here is we're going to click Lighten. And you don't have to worry about anything hanging off the edge here. You can do that. Now, if you think that some of these areas are a little bit too light, what we can do is we are going to kind of do this, and then we're going to add it again. And this time I'm going to flip it this way. You just kind of have to get a little creative here, and then we are going to click Lighten. Hang on a second. And you can kind of move this around until you get it how you like it. And because it is a watercolor card, I really like the fact that we have this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click Save. Now this is going to be the front of our card. And then I'm just going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. Okay, we're going to go ahead and return back to iPicky. And now we are going to take all this out. We're going to make the middle of our card. Okay, keep in mind, it's a card that opens up. So this is going to be the middle of the card. Now you can kind of add something like this. And this came in the same collection that I purchased. And I got these and I did not pay much for these. That's why I really teach how to use your design skills without having to spend a whole lot of money. Okay, so then we can go ahead and add some more text. We'll just put from our family to yours. Happy holidays. And then we're going to center this, and I'm going to go ahead and pick out my font. Okay, and so right here, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing that I did. I am going to use the watercolor blob that I had, and I'm just going to make sure I cover most of this because I really want the dark part the most. And then I'm going to click Lighten. Okay, and then I'm going to add that again. And we're going to click Lighten. And you can kind of move that around until you get it to how you like it. And then I'm going to do it one more time. And we're going to click Lighten. Okay, so now we have the middle of our card. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this to my desktop. Okay, now the back is up to you. It is completely optional. However, if you are running a business and you want to like add your logo, I highly recommend that you do so. So once again, we could use this watercolor blob and you could kind of go like this on the very back of the card, and let's say you wanted to add your the name of your Etsy shop name. So let's say that I was just going to do AMC Designs. And then we would center that, and we would change our font. And I'm keeping sort of the whole theme going on here. So we would just change our font again. Okay. And then if, just to kind of keep it somewhat, I like to fade the text a little bit, kind of like this. And I think that that looks professional and it looks like the back of a card. You can also make this smaller if you think this is too big. You don't have to have it directly in the middle if you want. This is all up to you on the placement, and even if you want to do the back of a card. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save this. to our desktop. Okay, so we have now designed the front, the middle, and the back of our card. Okay, we're going to return back to iPicky, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and this. Okay, so you can get online and you can search for templates that are printable on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So what you're going to need to do so that you can fit that inside there is get your dimensions. So if I hit 8.5 here with a DPI of 300, that's given me 2550, and if we do 11, it's giving me 3300. Okay, and this is a site, it's called Ninja Units, and it's awesome. I have used this in my last several videos on converting inches to pixels, and you can also use this to convert pixels to inches if you want to. Okay, so back over here, we're going to click New, and we need to put those dimensions in here. And we're going to click Create. Okay, so here is our 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and now is what we need to do. I have already uploaded them. Now, I got these online, and then I added they were free, and I got I added a little bit more wording to it. So, hang on just a second here. Let me see if I found the one. Okay, so as what we're needing to do, we have this in here, and we need to fit this in here. Okay, this says front, trim, 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 and I added these words around the edges because this is the file that you are going to upload for your customers to view or for them to download. Okay, and also if you offer any sort of customization, like, you know, you want to add information for them, you're still going to email them this with instructions on how to print this. So basically is what we're going to do is we're going to add the front of the card, but we're going to have to turn it around sideways, and we're going to put the front of the card right here because I wish you could see my hands. So if you turned it, you know, this way, you have to look like this would be the back of the card, and this would be the front of the card. So we can go ahead and add the front, and we can add the back. Okay, so even though it says front, we can put the back too. Okay, so let me go ahead and upload those images that I just saved to my desktop. Okay, so if you think about it, like I said, once again, this is the back of the card right here, and this is the front. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take, this is our 5 by 7, and what we have to do is we're going to flip it. We're going to flip it this way, and we're going to fit it inside of this box. Okay, and that fit perfectly. And then this is that's just the fold right there. So we have this part here. Now we're going to go ahead, and probably I should have added front and back right here, but really is what's the important thing for your customer to see is trim, because this is where they're going to actually trim it. Now, if they have what is it called, the A5 or the A7 cards, they can just go ahead and print it automatically, and they do not have to worry about trimming anything. So you might want to offer it both ways. Okay, so now let's go ahead and pull over the back of our card. So once again, whenever you go to fold this, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. If you can just visualize this in your head. Okay, I know it's sideways, but this is the way that we are going to save that. So, once again, you can actually put front and back, but if you just get online and look for print 5x7 card on 8.5 by 11, this is what you can do. So you can actually fit this in here. Or if it's a 4x6, you can make this also 4x6 if you want to. It all depends on how you want to do it. And I think that's what this is. And that is also why I created, let me go ahead and save this. So there's the front. Okay, now I am going to discard this, and we are going to go ahead and do the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and click New, and we're going to discard. Actually, let me go over here to the editor. Okay, so we're going to click here, and this is something I wish I could teach more by just like in person, like really showing you how to do that. Okay, so we're going to click here. This is the middle of the card, okay? So if you remember here, when we opened up the card, the middle of the card is going to go right here in the same spot. And I also put trim, 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 and this is the middle. And once again, this is what you would save for your customers. And I apologize on that, the front, those were actually 4x6s. These are 5x7s, and that's why we can get one on this page. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the layering tool, and we are going to add the middle of the card. And you're just going to fit it nicely inside of this box. Okay, and then there is the middle of the card, and that is how you would do that. And we're going to click Apply, and then we're going to save. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and close this photo. And there was another way to do this too. Let me see what happens whenever I pull up this other image that I found online. It just looked like there was so much going on this thing, and I was trying to keep this simple here. Okay, so right here, this is showing you the 8.5 by 11, but there's so much going on here that you would have to fit your 5x7 in right here, which means this section right here would need to be trimmed. And I found this on uprinting.com. Okay, so I thought that this was just a little bit too much. So I guess you can fit the two 5x7s on one piece of paper. So really, for a 5x7, you would only need to send them two. Okay, so let me go back over here to the photo library, and I am going to do the back. Okay, so this is the back and I have it trim right here. We want to keep this simple for our customers. So basically, once they do the front, they're going to have to reinsert it back into their printer to get, the back. So if you remember, we had the front of our card right here, and then we had the middle. Okay, so this is the back of the card, and the back of the card is going to go up here at the top, just like I showed you before. So we're going to click on our layering tool, and we're going to put the back of our card right here. And this is just if you want to put a back of the card. So once again, this is the back of the card. So we made our front, we made our middle, and then this is what the back of the card would look like. So the last thing that we would want to do is we would want to hop over here to paint.net, and we want to make sure that it is saved in 300 dpi. Okay, so let's say that we opened up this. Okay, so this is showing you, this is the front of our card, and technically we can put the back of the card right here if we wanted to. So what we want to do here to make sure this is in 300 dpi is we are going to click Image, we're going to click Resize, and we're going to change our resolution to 300 right here. And this tells you right here, it is 8.5 by 11, and it tells you the pixels are correct at 2550 and 3300, and we click OK. And once again, this would be what you would upload for them for their instant download. The only thing you would show on, the front of your card would be this, and you could show the middle on subsequent photos. You could show the middle and the back on the subsequent photos, because you can upload more than one photo to Etsy. Just make sure that you don't forget to watermark them. So we have done that, so you can save this. Okay, and it is now saving it. It is telling me that the quality is 100%. And it is a large file. So we're going to click OK to save that. And the last thing that we're going to do is hop over on iPicky, and we want to take our card and we want to put it in a mock-up photo. Okay, so we're going to click here on our mock-up photo, and you can use a different mock-up photo if you would like. Okay, and then we are going to click on our layering tool to add the front of our card, which was right here, Merry Everything. And you just fit this on here. And that is how we do that. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I know there are a million ways that you can do this, and several different ways. Really, the easiest way to do this is simply if they have already 5x7 foldable cards, which I already have here at home. So if they have those, then they could just print it directly like that, but they would still have to insert it on the back if they wanted to print something on the back, which is your logo. So once again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more ways to make a passive and supplemental income online. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day.